Kohalo Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who teach in Ruwell. Salutations to you brothers in the highways and byways. Salutations also goes out to you brothers and few sisters that tune in to listen and learn. I'm the brother Malak from the Diligent Soldier Camp here in Boston, Mass. As always, I pray this lesson be edifying to the elect. Okay, the name of this one is These Curses Are Upon Israel for a Sign and Wonder. These curses are upon Israel for a sign and wonder. Okay, and when I say Israel, okay, I mean Yasha Allah. Okay, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, right, and speckled birds that are around the world, man, around the whole planet, you know, that look like the other nations. Okay, that in itself is a part of the curses. Okay, Salakia. All right, but basically, I just want to bring out a few scriptures. Okay, don't want to make it too long, but you know, having conversations with a family member of mine, you know, who loves to read, right, scriptures, but when I ask them for understanding on a particular scripture, or I should say chapter, because you ask them something and they want to read the entire chapter, even though that their answer is a particular scripture, they want to read the entire chapter. Now, there's nothing wrong with reading the entire chapter when you're when you're doing studying, when you're just reading. There's nothing wrong with that, that's what you should be doing. But at the same time, you have to look up words, right? Read them in the correct context, and know what the scriptures are, or the author is trying to tell you. With that being said, Deuteronomy 28 is in the scriptures for a reason, okay? And many Christians just they just go over it. It goes over their heads, and they don't elaborate with you on it. I really want to say they don't even read it themselves. And if they do, they dismiss it, with scriptures that speak about the Lord turning his back on Israel. You know what I'm saying? That plant becoming a degenerate, and basically the branches breaking off. They like to take scriptures like that and dismiss whole chapters of like this, for example, Deuteronomy 28, and it's like, if you go through it, it's obviously saying that these people were going and inherited those curses, and how those curses was going to follow them to the end, right? As I'm going to read soon in Deuteronomy 28:15. And so, there's other chapters that will basically tell you that, that basically the curses are upon you, man, and the only one that could take them off is the Lord, which is his Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai's purpose, ultimately, man, because the scriptures speak about the curses being upon us and then going upon our enemies. Okay, so it's like, what's up with that? How do you explain that as a so-called Christian? And then, because they don't have an answer for you, and are too proud, man, to tell the truth, are just proud of thinking that they know it, they got it down packed, that they got understanding already. They feel like they don't even have to answer you, so they'll try to dismiss it, or dismiss the argument by is what I mean, right? Or the dialogue, or just flat out lie and say they don't have time, yet they were about to read the whole entire chapter to you, which takes a few minutes depending on how you read it, right? So yeah, I just wanted to bring out a few scriptures on that whole thing, because these curses, or this chapter is important. Deuteronomy 28 is important, man, because the Lord was, as the first verse says, that if we were to hearken to him, that we would inherit these blessings. and that if we didn't, we would inherit the curses. Whether they believe it or whether they believe that whether Jake believe or this person that I'm speaking about believes that they're an Israelite or not, these curses were put upon the Israelites, okay? The nation that the Lord chose and made hollow, okay? So, there has to be an explanation for that. I mean, obviously we know it, right? We have the correct understanding, but for them to just dismiss it, I try to have patience, man. Sometimes I even avoid having these conversations, but it's like they say things, and it's probably just the demons that hop on them, right? Your spirit rises up their spirit, and so they want to start saying things to throw you off, when all that does is really get us into wanting to speak about and teach the scriptures, man, because there's nothing else that gets me as excited. You know what I mean? Quick, fast too. I'm talking about somebody say something that's off, and I'm just ready to rebuke them. You know what I'm saying? Correct them. Many times I don't, right? And before I even do so, if I do it, I think about it first. Is it wise to do so? You know what I'm saying? At this moment, at this time, is it prudent? Because there's certain people you don't even want to be speaking to, even if they're family, man. You know what I'm saying? You have to just avoid it. They're too far gone. Their minds are seared with a hot iron, and there's no coming back, unless the Lord wants them to, in which case, through the Spirit, you're going to know that you have to speak to the person, or you should speak to the person, and there's going to be a good dialogue. The person's going to listen. You know what I mean? You'll see the signs for it. In other words, you'll see the Lord, the Spirit working, you know what I'm saying, with the people. But for the most part, our people just don't have that spirit, man, and hey, the scriptures say that many are chosen, man. We're chosen, but we don't know if we're going to remain, how does it go? Because I don't want to butcher it too much. Let me see if I could get it. Yeah, there we go. Matthew 22:14. It says, for many are called, okay? We were called to do this. And then it says, but few are chosen. And we have to pray and hope that we're a part of the chosen, okay? That's what we call ourselves, the hopeful elect, because we hope to be a part of this first go-around, man, of the elect, okay? That the Lord, first fruits, that the Lord is going to have mercy on, man. We pray that we're part of that number, man. So I just wanted to put that out there because I didn't want to butcher that scripture. I was already doing so, and I don't want to do that. So without further ado, let's just get a few scriptures. I want to go straight to Deuteronomy 28:15, okay? Because the first 14 verses, especially the first verse, tells you that if you hearken unto the Lord, all these blessings you will basically inherit, right? And then it goes from verse 2 to verse 14, and it speaks about the blessings, which, by the way, there's less blessings than curses. There's way more curses than the blessings, but the blessings were going to be so far out, man, that this is what the elect is looking forward to, man. You know what I mean? Inheriting those blessings, man, soon, man. But hey, man's goings are of the Lord, and we had to know evil, man, and unrighteousness before we could be rulers, man. To know how to judge, you know what I'm saying, righteously. Okay, so this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. It says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I commanded thee this day, because this is the account when Moses basically came down with the tablets, right, with all the commandments, and he was speaking to Israel. Okay, this is why it says, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh, right, thy power, your power, possessive, man. Okay, to observe, to do all his commandments, and his is possessive, right? But when you read it, he's talking to a people. He's not talking to all these nations, right? As it reads, man, delivered Israel from Egypt. He didn't deliver other nations from Egypt. Okay, it was just the Israelites from the Egyptians. So it says, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken, listen unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all these commandments and his statutes which I commanded thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Okay, these curses were going to come onto the people. Basically, the people were going to inherit these curses. Israel was going to inherit these curses. Okay, it says, let me see. All right, I want to jump down to 46 before I give a few examples of these curses, right? It says, Deuteronomy 28:46, it says, and they, the curses, shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. Okay, that doesn't mean obviously for eternity, because eventually you read in the scriptures where it tells you that the curses were going to be put upon thy enemies, man, that afflicted us, man, and you see that going on right now, right? But basically, let me just get the definition for sign and wonder. Okay, what is it? 46, Deuteronomy 28:46. I'm just gonna get a blue letter real quick. Blue letter, interlinear and concordance. Okay, for a sign, it's H226, right? Off, which basically goes into sign, signal, distinguishing mark, banner, right? Remembrance, miraculous sign, omen, warning, token, an ensign, standard, miracle, proof. All right, these curses are going to be upon you for proof, you know, and basically proving what that who's Israel, you know what I'm saying? And it says forever, so it's going to be for a long time until he takes those curses out. So obviously, though, that was going to be proof. These curses were going to be proof to the rest of the world, and starting with Israel themselves, right? That forgot who they were, of who they really are. All right. It says, let me see. For wonder, it is H4159. Mophife, right? And it says wonder, sign, miracle, portent, wonder. In parentheses, it says as a special display of God's power, sign, token. Parentheses, it says a future event. Okay, so basically, man, let me see something real quick. No. So basically, man, it's gonna be proof, a token of who we are, basically. That's why it reads, and they, the curses, shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever, Okay, so let's go back. Deuteronomy, hold on, let me see 1 second. Right, so let's look up just a few of the curses, man, because it's important to know and to realize that not all these curses are how should I say this wisely? We're not, a lot of these curses Israel is not currently going through, and then not all the curses are exclusively for one particular tribe. Okay, some tribes got it worse than others, and by that I mean, like, some curses are upon some tribes more than the rest of the tribes. It's more evident that way. Okay, but there's plenty of proof who the Israelites are today. Okay, you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And might I add, there's plenty of lessons online, on YouTube that breaks that down. Okay, with enough proof. Right now, I'm just trying to show that these signs, or better yet, these curses were upon us for a sign, okay, and for a wonder, to know who who the Lord's people are. Okay. Let me see. Where should I start? There's a bunch. I just want to get a few. Let me see. Let me start. Okay, I could even start at 16. It says, "Cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field." All right, the city where you live, the field, the rest of the world, basically, right? Because we know the word field also could mean the world, and even at your workplace. You know what I mean? It can mean, when you're in the field, when you're out there working, in your man, a lot of brothers like to call it plantation, man. That word employment literally means slave, goes into slave, or employee. I mean, so cursed shall thou be in the city, and cursed shall thou be in the field, man, in the world. And Jake truly is cursed anywhere he goes, man. You leave your house, and before you leave your house, you got to pray to the Lord, and that's for what, man? Asking him for protection, because you don't know if you're gonna make it back. The odds are stacked up against us. You know what I mean? These curses make those odds, not in our favor, man. You got your enemy, these Edomites, these so-called white people. They have badges, which are just basically modern day centurions. You know what I mean? And you can be profiled. You could get into a little BS argument, and they could turn it real big. You know what I'm saying? And hey, with the whole George Floyd, was it George Floyd? No, it wasn't George Floyd. I forget the brother's name that got killed, right? The larger brother. The person that recorded the whole thing and basically had, minimal words with the police officers, but he's currently doing time at the moment. If I'm not mistaken, he already came out. Maybe. I'm not 100% sure, but hey, that man left his house that day, recorded an incident that was happening in front of him. He was witnessing abuse of a so-called black man, and because he had a few words, maybe like saying, get off of him, you shouldn't be doing that, you shouldn't treat him like that, he's not breathing, whatever. Hey, and he took that, and that footage that he took went viral. He gets harassed by the cops all over anywhere he is, and he actually had to plead guilty, man, to a few charges, man. So my point is, man, Jake is cursed, man. In his work, in the workplace, in the street, and anywhere else he goes. I mean, you got people in Libya, man. You got Jakes in Libya still being hung and sold and all that, man. And we were scattered all over the place, as I'm gonna read later on in Deuteronomy. Okay. Let me see. Let me read another few, because there's a lot of curses, man. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just trying to read through it, of the ones that might be happening at the moment, right? It says, "Cursed shall be thy basket and thy store." All right. You for the most part, Jake is in the quarters of the cities, man. In the hood, as they call it, right? The neighborhoods, right? Or the ghettos, right? The trenches, as we call it. And what do you see in the hood, in the ghetto, man? You see liquor stores, you see gun stores, a bunch of churches with fuck made out of lies, right? Those whorehouses. What else you see? A bunch of fast food restaurants that are just basically killing us. You know what I mean? There's a documentary that brothers should definitely watch. It's called "They're Trying to Kill Us." Really good. I think I saw it on Tubi. It was really, really good. Recommend brothers watching that, man. But that actually lays, I think, is the next curse. No, it's a few curses down. Right. But basically, man, cursed shall thou be thy basket and thy store, man. You owning you owning your own store, right? Whether it be a restaurant or just a regular store, you selling any type of goods, man. It's good. Yeah, we can't escape these curses, man. And Jake has to pay their taxes, yeah, which is tributes, man, which is a part of the curses too, because we paying tributes to these goddamn Edomites, man. Jake gets set up at his job If Jake wants certifications and certain things, it takes a while. It takes money, you know. Depending the type of job or company you're running, you know, you gotta know somebody to get things, and I'm talking about like in the city workers, right? To by the inspectors and shit like that, you know. So it's hard for Jake, man. Not to mention the scriptures speak about, you know, you gathering basically money, man, and putting it in bags with holes, man. But if I'm not mistaken, it's right here, part of these in these curses in this chapter. Okay. It says, let me see. Let me go down a little more. Let me go actually down to 41. All right. Deuteronomy 20 and 41. It says, "Thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity." Now, hey, you know, we saw, you know, Northern Kingdom brothers and sisters coming up from, you know, South and Central America, coming up here a few years ago and getting the, you know, I think it was around the time when Trump was in office, and what they would do is that they would send the parents back to their native countries, right, or where they came from, and they will keep the children over here, man. And I think it was something around like, I hope I'm not wrong, but the number that's in my mind is like 45, and by that I mean 45,000. You know, it was thousands and thousands of children, man, that they was keeping in cages, man. You know what I'm saying? In Texas and in other facilities, man, and around the country, man. And those children are not accounted for. Basically, the department that was in charge of you know, holding them, right, and I would imagine feeding and making sure they was getting the things that they needed, you know, running water and bathing and all that. The point is, the people that were in charge of them have no accountability of where these children are right now, you know. And this is something that was in the news for 1 or 2 days, and then that's it. Now, you know, now we moved on to Ukraine issue, you know, October 7th issue with the 1948ers, you know what I mean? And a lot of things are just swept under the rug, man. And sometimes there don't even gotta be conflicts. They just come up with some BS, man. Even like celebrities are like, oh, this celebrity slept with this one, or this is going on with that one, and now people forget, and the media takes advantage of that, and important issues are no longer spoken about, you know. But the point is, man, those children went into captivity, man. You know, a lot of them were sex trafficked, man. Okay, and I probably shouldn't have said that word, but it is what it is. You know, the reason I probably shouldn't have said it is because of the algorithms, man. You know, there's certain things you just can't say on YT, man, on YouTube, man. They're sensitive like that. But the point is, man, you know, as it says here, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, for they shall go into captivity. Now you got children as far as as small as like toddlers to, you know, early teenagers, you know, that were taken from their parents when their parents were deported, you know, and they was in these facilities and in these different places, man, for a few years. You know what I'm saying? And now they don't know their whereabouts. They don't know where these kids are at. And it's like, how the fuck you don't, you know, how you don't know that? But we know that there's the devil that's running these facilities, this government, man. So of course it only makes sense that something like that happens. You know what I mean? What's another curse? It says the strangers, 43, the strangers that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low. You can relate that to, you know, us living around, you know, Hamites, Moabites, all these, you know, Elamites. You know, they live in the hood sometimes, and you see them progressing. You know what I'm saying? You see them moving up in life. You know, they they have a business idea, or want to just do the traditional, let's say for example, Chinese spots or something, or Elamite restaurant type of shit, and they just go to the bank and get a loan and get it. And sometimes they could even go to family members that got it like that. You know what I mean? And could loan it to them, and you know that money's gonna come back. But Jake don't got that type of resources, let alone family members that are willing to loan them something so they could start up a business, man. You know what I'm saying? You see these strangers that are around us, man, moving up in life, man. But here it is. You could have a great idea, right? And this goes for the majority of people, but mostly for Jakes, man. Jake could have a great idea for a business, won't be able, and at a young age too, won't be able to get a loan from the bank, right? But Sallie Mae, which is a bank that's made up of investors, Edomite investors that invest in all this money for to loan, to loan basically young people for school, to get into school. You won't get a $20,000 or $10,000 loan from a bank, but they'll loan you 30, 40, 50, 70,000, depending what it is. So you could be in debt, man, for the rest of your fucking life, man. Paying that shit off as some type of college loan. You know what I mean? University loan and shit. So it's very messed up out here, man. It's very unrighteous. There was a particular curse that was going into how the Lord will smite you with inflammation, man. I can't find it at the moment. I probably keep missing it. But if you look around, Jake for an example, are the ones that are leading, in heart disease, in type 2, or what is it, or just basically diabetes, whatever type they come in, heart disease, inflammation, people just suffering, man, and pain and everything, and it's because of these defiled foods, man. And what did the Lord tell Jeremiah? Let's get that real quick. Let's get that real quick. Hold on, my phone locked me out, because this is all a part of the curses, man. It says, the book of Ezekiel, chapter 4, verse 13, it says, and Yahweh said, right? Yahweh said to Ezekiel, so like Yahweh said Jeremiah earlier, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I will drive them, right? Because that was another curse, man, being scattered. I'll go to that next, all right? But the defiled food, man, goes into everything we eat, man. 90% of everything that's in the supermarket is banned outside of Babylon, all right, in other nations. And then whatever they do have, like let's say, mac and cheese, certain cornflakes, certain sodas, juices, all these different things, the ingredients, if you hold them side by side, like the European brand, the same brand, but like the European version next to an American version, you'll see that the American version, the ingredients are the paragraph is way longer, and it's a bunch of words that you can't even pronounce, right? And then they'll have a bunch of dyes that are basically banned in other countries, but here in the United States they give it to you. Now when you go look up what red 40 is, or yellow 5, and all these different things, it's a whole damn paragraph of a bunch of chemicals, man. You know what I mean? Not to mention the so-called natural flavors, man, where these people are basically secreting, they not secreting, but these companies, what they do is that they grab, like, for example, I heard of one place that was getting what type of animal was it, man? It's one of those animals, man, that be like by rivers and shit. I forget at the moment the animal, man, but they was basically squeezing like this juice that the animal secretes from the anus, man, and they was taking that and mixing it with the food or the product that they were that they sell. I forget the company and the animal that they use it, but it just you know, the fact that it's coming from an animal, man, and the animal's anus, man, like what the fuck, bro? You know what I'm saying? And I think they even use for Skittles, right? They crunch up a bunch of like certain bugs to give the candy its shine that it has. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we you know, not to mention the fact that swine is in everything, man. Pork is in every fucking thing. You know what I mean? Even plastic bottles are made out of enzymes of pork. So there's a lot of shit that goes that these devils are responsible for, man, and that they put in our foods, man. You know, your what is it? Your chicken and your beef and all these other things, man. They're full of antibiotics. As a matter of fact, the livestock industry, for lack of another word, is most of the antibiotics that's consumed in the United States, and I want to say more than 50% of it goes to these livestock, man. Whether they be chicken, whether they be cows, you know, whether they be any other animals that they you know, pigs, you know, that they inject these antibiotics for so you know, so-called for them not to get like sick or whatever. But they use these antibiotics on them, and then guess what? They kill them while they all stressed out or worried and all that other shit. And then guess who's eating and consuming all these foods, man? Jake. It's Jake love chicken, man. You know what I'm saying? Jake love chicken. Jake love their red meat. You know, I myself like that. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna stand here and say that I love it, but I definitely enjoy it. I've been used to eating every day, you know, rice with chicken or something with chicken, you know, or red meat or whatever, you know. But our people are the ones that lead the way with all these diseases, man, that our people have, man, you know, over all the other nationalities of people that are over here in this country, in Babylon, man. Okay? So that's all a part of the curses, man, that the Lord said he was going to smite us with, man, our people with, man. Now, at the end of Ezekiel 4:13, it says, whether I will drive them, right? Keep in mind, these are all signs for us, man. Okay? And I didn't even mention the one with that speaks about having a yoke. Let me get that one real quick too. I totally forgot where that one is exactly. It's in Deuteronomy 28, but give me 1 second. There we go. Deuteronomy 28 and 48, and I actually already had it. I had it. So let's just go to that one next real quick. It says Deuteronomy 28 and 48. It says, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee. Right? Because this was all because we disobeyed the Lord, man. His commandments and his statutes. We forgot about all that. We started trying to do our own thing. As a matter of fact, he did all these miraculous things in front of our eyes when he delivered us from Egypt. And what the hell did Jake do as soon as Moses went up, you know, for some time to get those tablets, man? They started melting down the gold, making a freaking calf, you know, to worship it, or a cow to worship it. You know what I mean? An idol, man, basically, man. And who did we learn that from? Our enemies that we were serving for all that time, man, in Egypt, man. Jake just didn't know any better. But here it is, the Lord, the creator, you know, this power that manifested himself by showing us these wonders, deliver us from Egypt. And that's the first thing Jake did, man, was to fucking worship an idol, okay? And so because of that, we are in the situation we are today, okay? Because, I mean, how the Lord, if we're not those people and the Lord chose a particular people, let's say it was whoever else, right? And that would mean that they're under these curses, that these curses are still going on to this day because the Lord is not back, right? So it says, Deuteronomy 28:48, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemy, which Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness, okay? And in want of all things. We have to go to the so-called white man, Esau, for the most part, our people, for the one of all things, man. Section 8, housing, right? Man, we fucking buy our measured waters when water's free on earth. You know, I mean, I do understand that they bring it to particular places around where you will live, right? So your local stores or whatever. But at the same time, who designed these metropolitan cities, man, to be the way they are, gridded, designed after like how the Romans used to set up their cities, man. Okay, Esau, man, it's the devil that the Bible speaks of. So again, from the top, Deuteronomy 28:48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which Yahweh shall send against thee in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in the want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he has destroyed thee. Now, when you go look up yoke of iron, right now you Google that word, and the only examples that you're gonna see on Google is a bunch of jakes with the yoke of iron around them, okay, which was put on them so they won't escape, so they won't think about escaping, basically. And so when you look that up, you're only gonna see so-called black people on that, man. All right, so-called black people, even in the islands, they would make these instruments, man, these type of cruel fucking shackles, if you will, man. All right. The next one I want to get is Deuteronomy 28:64. This might be the last one. It says, "And Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people." Keep in mind, this is a sign, man. Okay, because no other nation was scattered all around the world, man. Okay, and Yahweh shall scatter thee among all people, from the one end of the earth even unto the other. And there shalt thou serve other gods, which neither thou nor thy fathers have known, even wood and stone. And you go into that wood and stone basically goes into those wooden crosses, right, that Jake got all over their houses. You know, my parents is from the Dominican Republic, and there was a fucking JC picture all over the place, and crosses all over the place, and above the doors, made out of straws and shit. You go to the neighbor's house, they also have it. You know what I'm saying? And stone going into the basically the what's that shit that they Muslims the coberts, I forget how to pronounce it, but the stone that they worship over there, you know, and our people reverence and even go all the way down there, so-called Mecca, man, to worship it, kiss it, hump it, all types of bullshit to it, man. You know what I mean? Idols, man, graven images, man, made by images and idols made by men. You know what I mean? A lot of these freaking crosses, you look behind it has a little gold seal in the back, that little gold sticker that says "Made in China." You know what I'm saying? Made by these people from other nations, man, that worship other gods. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Jake in the middle of all that, worshiping that image or that idol. Okay, so you know, I mean, and I just read a few of this of the curses and quoted a few. You know what I'm saying? But these curses are upon Israel, man. And no matter what a Christian, especially if they're your own family member, it could be even your own parents, man. If they do not acknowledge this, man, they're gonna be lost. They're gonna be lost, man. Okay, this is actually the and I mentioned it a few times in other previous lessons, man, that this is the chapter that really did it for me, man. Like, it was really a token, you know, that the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai let me understand, to know exactly who we were, who the scripture's speaking about, and who the nation of the Lord is. Okay, so I pray that this lesson was edifying. And in closing, I want to give all honors and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of GMS who teach and rule well. Salutations to your brothers in the highways and byways. Salutations also goes out to your brothers and few sisters that tune in to listen and learn. Shalom.